What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Coming at you with a video today that I did not plan on making or really want to make, but figured I'd add it. I'm sure there's some people out there that might have this similar issue. Just wanted to talk about it. So about, was it yesterday? Probably either yesterday or 2 days ago, I noticed a little bit more of an induction noise when I was accelerating. Honestly, it sounded good. So I was like, I wasn't too worried. I've always had, from the dine-in intake, I've had a little bit of an induction sound already, but it just sounded louder the last day or two. And what's crazy is I didn't notice that it was down on very much power, but I hadn't been driving it like crazy. So I just didn't notice it. But today, I was driving and I was still hearing this louder induction noise. So I put it on the sport displays and I wanted to monitor my boost to see, what kind of PSI I was getting. Usually on a good pull, full throttle, I'm looking at somewhere around like close to 15 PSI. I think I have that set up in my MHD, somewhere around 15. Well, today, throw on the sport displays, do a little pull, and it like barely gets to 5. It was like 3, and obviously I'm like, whoa, that's weird. And again, what's crazy is it was like it still was pulling, like it was still, like it wasn't like it was slow, but it just wasn't hitting right. And it sounded, again, just very, very, it sounded loud. And so I pulled into the gas station. I'm like, something ain't right here. Let's check it out. So let me turn on my light here. And you're going to see on my charge pipe, boom, you guys can see right there, I have got a coupler that is loose. So I initially was checking down here by the turbo inlet, but everything looks good there, and moved on up, and boom. So there is the issue. My charge pipe, the little ring, the clamp has gotten loose. So I'm gonna try and fix this, try and get this set up. I did install this charge pipe myself, so I don't, it's been like this for probably about, not like this, not broken, but it's been installed for probably about 6 or 7 months. And it must have just happened in the past, like I said, 2 days, 3 days tops. So, I only have myself to blame. I'm the one that installed it. I do see there's a little bit of oil here, dried. So, or not dried, but whatever, oil. So it's definitely doing a little sketchy. Again, very surprised how the car felt. It still felt fast, which is wild, but I'm losing a lot of boost. So I'm gonna put the phone down, see if I can get this fixed, and I will update you guys here in a little bit. All right, so coming back with an update. The plan here is I don't want to undo all of this stuff if I can avoid it. I don't know if anybody's ever done this themselves for the charge pipe install, but it is honestly a pretty large pain in the ass to undo all these clips here. And I did it. It was this one. Like there's a bunch of stuff that has to get unclipped, and a couple of them are really a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna try and avoid that. So the plan is I'm gonna undo these here and get it pulled out so I can get some wiggle room. I can see here's my clamp. I can move it around. So the plan is to loosen it here and then try and get it fit in, tighten it, and then once it's, clamped in, try and get it back here. I am honestly worried that I'm gonna have to pull all this shit out again. It was a pain in the butt. The actual job wasn't that hard when I did it, but getting a few of these clips back in, particularly these round ones, sorry for the shadows, particularly these round ones here, they can be a bit of a pain. I know there was this round one here, or maybe it was even this one. It's been a while, I'll have to check. I think it was a Keys Motorsports video that I watched, but this one was a pain. And there's one more somewhere in here that's like that center lock one, that is a pain. I think it might be right here, this one right there. I'm hoping I don't have to redo those and unclip them because it was an absolute pain. So again, I'll update you guys here in a minute, but we're gonna take this off to start and see what I can do. Okay, update here. So a pain in the butt, of course. I had to get the strut towers moved so that I could slide out the piece, which I did get it out. It's out. So yeah, there she is. Now I got to try and get it back in, get the clamp on the rubber boot, and then, you know, the rubber boot does usually have a little bit of play, so I'm hoping I can get it on and then still get it in here. So yeah, I did have to unclip a few wires that I was, you know, trying to avoid, but a couple of them had to go. I haven't had to do any of the really hard ones yet, and I'm hoping to avoid that. So, all right, I'll update you all in a bit. Okay, update. All right, we have it back in. Well, loosely back in. You'll see the bolts right there to the charge pipe need to be tightened. But I have it back in the boot. The C-clamp, or I guess, I don't know, the clamp, the silver clamp with the flathead there, that is not tight yet, but it is in. And I'm going to tighten that down, I think, the silver C-clamp or circular clamp, hose clamp, I think it's called, before I tighten down the charge pipe. So, all right, let's do that. Sorry if I'm out of breath. I don't know why this is way more exhausting than I'd like to admit. You know, I'm out here working, sweating. Either way, all right, I'll keep you updated. Okay, update. We are back. Everything is back in and installed. Got the C-clamp back on, nice and tight. Screws are back in, clips are back plugged in. It definitely fought me a little bit. Once or twice I had everything, you know, back, but when I tightened down the hose clamp, it just wasn't seating properly. It's hard to explain, but it just wasn't seating properly. It wasn't really clamping down. I could tell there was like a little fold in it. So what I had to do is actually loosen the bottom C-clamp, the one that's attached to the lower part of the charge pipe. I loosened that, kind of seated that a little bit better, a little bit straighter, a little bit stronger, in my opinion. And then I was able to get the top part nice and firm. You know, honestly, crazy thing is I was using a flathead on the flathead hose clamp, which obviously works. But once I got a 7mm and put it on there, it made it so much easier to hold it and make it tight and just do it properly. So definitely recommend using a 7mm and not trying to use a flathead. But here we are, we're back in. I was gonna take it for a test drive, but I'm actually gonna wait. So because I had to take off the strut braces in order to get access to this silver piece right here, I actually have a carbon fiber piece that I've been looking to replace and swap it in, but I haven't because I have these braces that are kind of in the way. But because I had to unloosen them to get to this whole project, I think I'm gonna do that right now. So stay tuned. I'm gonna install that carbon fiber radiator or radiator support shield. Guess I'm not sure of exactly what it's called, but I'm gonna get that installed right now. All right, here we are, and we are done. I probably shouldn't have said that. I gotta go take it for a test drive, but charge pipe is back in. Everything looks to be sealed up properly. And as I said, I ended up, because I had it all apart, I ended up putting in this carbon fiber radiator support shield thing. So yeah, so now I got the carbon Dynon intake, the carbon cover, and the ECU cover. You know, the carbon matches pretty well considering they all came from different suppliers, which is cool. And you know, I know a lot of people get the carbon engine cover, which I guess technically would tie it all together, but I don't know. I like the stock one, and honestly, like, part of it is like when it gets so much carbon, it does get a little like tacky, especially if they don't match. But that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty lucky. Everything, the weave matches. Everything goes from the bottom left upwards to the top right. They all kind of match each other, which is definitely lucky. I did not know that, or you know, I did not plan that, but it worked out well. So all right, I'm gonna take a test drive here, and I'll have one final report back, but that's it. Charge pipe back, and hopefully this does not give me any more trouble. Thanks, boys. Also, one more thing. This is all done, obviously, but I don't know if you saw over here. We do have some H&R springs that I will be putting on soon. So we're gonna get those set up and get a little bit of a drop on here. I was looking at coilovers, and down the line I probably will do them, but it's just you know, a lot of money there. You know, to get good ones, I was looking at like $1,500 to get some KWs, and you know, it's not like I'm taking this thing to the track, let's be real. So get some lowering springs, see how it looks for, you know, relatively cheap, and then you know, go from there. So all right, so here is a test drive, or the test drive. I'm all buttoned up. I got the valves for the exhaust closed so that I can hear as much induction noise as possible. Before, with the charge pipe separated, it was very noticeable. It was very noticeable, the induction noise, like I guess it wasn't really turbo spool, but it was just like it was very airy, and you could tell there was a change. So now I'm hoping I don't hear that. Certainly not as much. You still hear, you know, the dyno intake a little bit, but you guys know the deal. Those intakes aren't crazy. So what's going on? Where's there a cop at? What the heck? All right, we're still warming up though. I'm pulling out of my apartment complex. I want to just make sure it's warm before I do anything. We're at about 200 degrees. Oh yeah, I can tell already. All right, you would have been able to hear it already, so that's good news. All right, I just hit 210. I'm gonna turn at this stoplight and give it a little bit of boost. I'm gonna turn on my sport. What is it? You know, on the dash, all the vehicle information, driving information, the sport display, and check out my boost. All right, here we go. All right, yeah, past 5, up to 10. Nice, 12. All right, yeah, she's building boost. All right, we are back, boys. Hell yeah. All right. Well, you know, I just wanted to make a quick video, so we're good. Hopefully this holds. Like I said, I have nobody to blame for this other than myself. I'm the one that installed that charge pipe a few months back. I guess real quick, while I do have you guys, I'll open up the valves and I'll come over here and do a little rev. Let's open up the valves. Got a Mercedes sitting over here. Just pull into this little U-turn area and do a little rev so you can hear. And the car wash is popping tonight. Nice day, I guess. Good. That's about 3.5K. So, all right. Appreciate you guys watching the video. Please subscribe, follow along. I'm gonna be making a lot of videos, and I just appreciate it. You know, I'm just starting to make these videos, and all the support I can get just really helps with the motivation. So, appreciate it. Later, guys.